$5,000 for this 2022 travel trailer. And it's usable and everything works. It's towable, it's clean, and it has a clean title. So what's the catch? Let's take a look. This is Ben with Ben's Campers. This is a 2022 Gulfstream AmeriLite 24BH, so 24-foot bunkhouse travel trailer. These weigh about 3,900 pounds unladen. This is really for sale here at the shop for $5,000. We're going to take a look at this thing. Obviously, there are some caveats. The title is not one of them. It doesn't have major damage. It does have some damage. So let's see why this unit is so affordable and what about this thing really would make it a great value for somebody, especially if you're looking to fix something up, put your own touch on it, do your own thing on such a late model travel trailer without having to worry about, you know, ripping out floors and walls and roofs and replacing appliances. This really could be an opportunity for you. So let's take a look around this thing. Just to cut to the chase, this one has damage from a tire blowout. It also has very heavy, well, pretty heavy, wear and tear. What this unit is, it was a lease return. So companies buy these by the bulk, and they lease them out to like long-term workers who basically live in them for a period of time. And those guys, they're often young men, you know, they can be very hard on these things, and they'll live in them through the winter and stuff. So this one did its time. It's been used for that scenario, so it's got some wear and tear. And it had the tire blowout that did damage some things. So we're going to take a look at all that. But if you looked at the thing, you wouldn't know any of that. You know, it's shiny, clean, just like any other travel trailer. It doesn't have major dings or dents. It does have a couple dings. Has a nice power awning that works great. I did stick 2 new propane tanks. You know, the propane system works great. It does have a nice pass-through storage. All the lights and brakes works. It does have a bent leveling jack there. And you can see the entry steps are bent downwards. Not sure how that happened. A lot of broken little plastic things, you know, little bolt-on repairs on this thing. Lots of them. So I'll try to cover them. Nice fiberglass door. Yes, we have all the keys for it. You see the exterior light there is broken. Nice grab handle there. You see it's missing a little plastic cover there. All the windows in nice shape except for that rear one there. It blew out, I guess, with the tire blow, which you can see was this tire, and it did do some damage to the cross member there, and went up into the floor, unfortunately, which they're good to do that. So it does need some work, definitely right there. That material hanging is the underbelly skirting stuff, and then it is missing the trim ring, the J-rail around the wheel well there, and obviously it got the sheet metal there a little bit. So that is going to need some repair. Not the biggest deal in the world. It does have original tires. I towed it a long way on these. You know, they're 3 years old at this point. They are just fine for now. If you want to replace them out of an abundance of caution, I understand. The roof on this thing's great. You know, it's 2022. Everything works. So we put water to this. You know, all the plumbing works. The water heater works. The furnace works. The AC does work. Running lights and brakes working. And then somebody did put a new spare, a Carlisle, Carlstar, whatever you want to call that, spare tire on there. That is new. Yeah, so again, you know, from the exterior, there's not much to say that this has any issues at all. You know, it looks just like any other 2022 travel trailer. I like the black wheels. I like the color, the dark blue stripe. The pretty white, off-white color to the exterior looks very good. You know, all these modern appliances, I mean, heck, you really can't go wrong with this thing. You know, and a lot of people want to fix up an older camper, and I get it. But you don't get the opportunity to fix up a really late model one like this. You see that badge on the front, it says 3-year structural warranty. You know, the warranty on this thing's just coming to an end. That's the other side of the storage compartment there, obviously. So let's go ahead and go inside. What is a $5,000? How is a 2022 travel trailer depreciated to the point that it's $5,000? Let's see. So we saw the damage. You know, the door screen, nice shape. Okay. Doesn't look bad, right? Looks like a 2022 travel trailer. It doesn't have any major water damage. It doesn't have any, you know, big gotchas. It's just got a bunch of little ones. You know, it's got the 2 rear bunks. So let's start in the kitchen. So as this was used as a residence, there's the furnace down there. There's 2 parts to this camper. You know, it was used as a residence, and these are built to a cost, okay? These are built, you know, they're a low-cost travel trailer, and that's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes they'll have loose trim, you know, pressboard cabinets. So those things aren't going to hold up as well to the abuse. But, you know, in its defense, you know, this thing was put through the ringer, and here it is. So you can't say that much bad about it. You know, you have a nice Greystone microwave, looks great, works great, nice range hood, 2 burner top, perfect. Looks like he set a hot pan there on the counter. You know, we got some wear on the counter, so maybe you could replace that, or got the sink. You know, it'd be easy to stick a nice stainless sink and a nice new faucet in there. This stuff works fine. It's just the upgrades would be easy, and they're mostly bolt on, you know, the easy stuff. You don't get that with campers too often. You know, a lot of times you have to tear stuff apart just to fix things. But this one, you know, you're really not going to have to do much of that. It does have this nice large upright fridge. Now, that is not original. Somebody put that in there. And I will say it was pretty dirty when I got it. But I did clean this thing out. The whole camper was pretty well soiled. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I cleaned it up pretty well. You have some nice pantry cabinets there. You have the bathroom sink in the main galley of the unit. You have a rear bath, and we have 2 bunks. So very nice wide ones too. You know, you see on a lot of the surface in here, just the finish coming off. You know, this is a soft material. It's worn out. The cushions, actually the upholstery's in fair shape. There is some wear to it. The table's in really nice shape, actually. It's kind of surprising. This dinette booth does need some work. It is broken free, and it could use re-supported. You see how the finish on the bottom almost totally gone. You could even replace that bench entirely, or maybe take that out and do, you know, an L shape, some kind of again, this one really fits the bill. If you're looking to do your own thing, and you want a really good place to start, this thing really fits the bill. So nice overhead cabinets. Yeah, the overheads are really nice. You have a nice control panel. Again, everything working just the way it's supposed to. Well, the flooring looks really good. And then up front, you have a nice walk-around queen, which, you know, we're not going to include a mattress at this price. This unit is all LED, of course. Everything up here looks good. You know, cabinets look good. Again, some of the loose trim and stuff around, easy fix. I did tack some of it back. You know, you have some USB ports. You have a lot of receptacles in this thing. Again, just the wear and tear. It's really surprising. All the blinds do need replaced. You know, they're shot. Again, more of the fun bolt-on stuff. You know, it's not terribly expensive. There's a spot for a TV. There's a receptacle for it. Nice big wide bunk beds. I'll show you the damage from the tire. Yeah, under there you see it ripped right through the floor, unfortunately. So you're going to need to do some wood repair. It must have been raining when it happened and got wet a little bit, but that won't hurt anything. And we do have, well, you have a nice curtain partitioning the bunk beds there. And then you have of course, a 2-piece bath. Now, I will say this, the floor in here is a little soft. I don't think it's from water damage. I think it's just because it's a thin floor and the thing was used so much that it, you know, kind of, it's not like super soft or anything, but it is a little wavy. I did bleach all this stuff down. You know, it smells nice in here. So you do have a nice little tub and shower and toilet. Of course, all the tanks are empty and everything, so we won't sell you anything, you know. Gross. Yeah, there's a cut in the floor. There's a couple marks on the floor. There's like from an ink pen, you know, maybe a cigarette burn or something. Who knows, man? Who knows? You know, this one, it is what it is. You got to take it with a grain of salt. It's not brand new. Despite being just 3 years old, it does have the wear and tear, but it's a good opportunity for somebody. You could use it right now. If you put a mattress in it, all the appliances work. The AC does need a switch there. It's broke off, but I took it apart and bypassed it just to make sure it works. It does. You know, everything working in here. It just needs some love. So let this one be your next project if that's what you're looking for. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We have a lot coming, as I always say, and I got a lot more to pick up. Just really having trouble finding the time to do all that, you know, between picking them up and cleaning them and listing them and everything and dealing with the sale and titles and all that. It's a lot. So hit subscribe. Help me help you. We'll see you with the next one. God bless all you guys. Thanks everybody who reaches out and gives me words of encouragement. I appreciate you all. We'll see you with the next one.